Welcome back to the show. I'm here with Alan Graham from Counts Real Estate, and we're going to talk about first-time home ownership. Welcome back to the show. Good to see you again, my friend.
Good to see you.
I know you're back from vacation too, which is awesome.
Yeah, we had a little trip to Ireland, and it was absolutely beautiful. And but I'm ready to get back to helping people buy homes now.
Yeah. Now we were talking about first-time home ownership. What are some of the things that you would recommend to, say, a young couple who might be buying their first home?
It's really funny. I get a lot of young couples, and they ask me to show them homes that are in the 2,000, 2,500 square foot range, and they were built in the 70s. And I got to thinking, boy, these homes look real familiar to me. And it was what I built when I first started. And what I see these young couples doing is they're having emotional attachment to what they were raised in, and they're trying to hunt for something in that area that's familiar to them. Big, great room, and they've got all the intentions of having large family gatherings and the Sunday school class over and things like that. But
and sometimes, does that not make sense for a young couple?
Well, yeah, it does. But what I suggest that they do is write down what they're going to need in their home living space for the next 3 to 5 years. Let's take a look at what do you need, not what do you want, or what are you emotionally attached to. It would be like somebody that takes their youth group to snow ski once a year, and they buy a big Suburban car, and they take the youth group up there once a year, but they drive that Suburban all year long, and they have to pay for the gas, and they've got the car payment and all the other expenses. People buy these large homes like that, and they don't understand that they have to grow into them, and they get what we call house poor.
Yeah. So you want really like an age-appropriate home, I suppose,
really
for a stage in your life?
Yeah, really what I like for them to do is write down what they actually need. And most people need kitchens, bathrooms, and a couple of bedrooms. They don't need a lot of square footage, and they typically want to buy in a neighborhood that's going up. So in the example of that 2,500 square foot house, I could get them a smaller house, let's say 1,200 square feet, that would be a lot newer, but it just doesn't sound as large. And they're stuck on, well, I need to impress these people, or I'm going to grow into it, or there's so many reasons that I've heard of why they're buying this large home. It's what I was raised in, or I'm going to invite people over. Even if you invite people over, if you only did it once a month, that's 12 times a year, so you're buying a large home to accommodate 12 days out of the year.
Yeah, it doesn't really make a lot of sense. And so what I hear you saying is, a lot of times, it's really an emotional buy, and they're really not thinking through, what they really need and what makes financial sense for them.
Exactly, and that's part of my responsibility as an agent is to help coach them in that and point out the long-term expenses that are associated with it.
I know we talked a little before we got started, and Karen and I, our first home was a duplex. And I think we had like 900 square feet on our side, and we had a rental on the other side, and we were both working. We got to save a lot of money to buy a house that we really wanted later on.
Right, because your power bill's not as high, you've got a smaller space there, your insurance is not as much, you have a smaller space, your yard's smaller, and so you've got less landscaping to take care of. And so all of those issues are downsized in your monthly house payment if you'll go ahead and make the right selection. And typically, you're only going to stay in that first home 3 to 5 years.
That's about how long we were there.
That's right.
Yeah, and we had a tenant. Not that being a landlord is a lot of fun sometimes, but if you're a handy guy, I mean, you can keep up with both sides of that, and it helps you pay your mortgage as well. So the way we looked at it was like all of our mortgage payment went to principal.
Right.
And our tenant paid all the interest, so it was a win-win for us, at least at that time.
And it gives you an opportunity to put some sweat equity into the house. Instead of hiring somebody to paint the house, a smaller house you'll tackle with a paint job for yourself. And so instead of paying the full price of a contractor, you're able to invest some of that money back into the property that you do.
So in the 30 seconds we have left, is there a checklist or something that you would give young homeowners, or we would just talk them through it?
I would suggest that they write down what their needs are, not what their wants are. That want list is going to be real big, and the real need list is living space, low monthly payment, low energy bill to save for the family that they're going to start. Also, it allows you to build up equity in that house if you'll go ahead and pay a large portion of it off up front. Whereas if you buy a larger home and put the minimum down payment down, you don't walk into a home with equity in it. Equity is the fact that you could sell it for and get some money out of it if you had to, or you could refinance it if you had to.
Well, wise advice, Alan Graham. And when in doubt, give you a call at Counts Real Estate.
There we go.
Thank you so much, my friend.
Thanks,
Good
Don.
to see you again. Welcome back. And we'll be right back.